What are the requirements for a crane lifting? This is where most of us go wrong, and this is where they know this guy does not have an experience, he does not know what he's talking about. My friend, I'm very sure you've never even seen a crane before because you just sleep, wake up, you hardly go to construction site. You see, the best thing I will tell you before you do your report in your IGC tool now, as it is, try to visit a construction site, a large construction site. Talk to the HSC officer or the HSC inspector that is in charge of the site. Let them take you through, put you through, explain to you what the site looks like, how it goes on. So you can even see what a crane look like. You see, the requirements of crane lifting starts from positioning it on a frame and level ground with wooden pad under the steel plates. You see, after the steel plate of the outrigger has been uh, brought out, there should be a wooden pad that steel plate is going to stand on to avoid when you are lifting, that plate starts sinking because of the load or the weight of the crane. You see, outriggers are fully extended, ensure they are fully extended and the tires are lifted off the ground. Certified operator and riggers are available. Certified crane operator in the sense that you check their driving license if it's valid or not, or there because some people what they do is because they saw their uncle or their father using crane for a long time, they think it's that easy, they just sit down, they want to practice on your site. To be a good person, it's nice to allow your friend or anybody try using the crane, but are they going to be paying the fine when that person mistakenly drop a load and somebody died, or they mistakenly swing the boom or extend the boom that it damaged the building or the standing structure, or it damaged something? Are you ready to pay the fine? So all these have to be put into consideration. Safe load indicator is working. This safe load indicator, safe load indicator, it's an indicator whereby if the crane is to lift 50 ton maximum, immediately the load gets to 49, almost 50 ton, it start beeping, tip, tip. But as soon as it crosses the 50 or if it gets to 51, you start hearing more, it start giving you more noise that Abibi, this load you are picking up is more than the safe loading capacity of this crane. And you know what most guys do? They switch it off because they believe, okay, it's only this one. We've been doing it since morning, there's no problem. Do you know that only that one problem can shut down your site and everything, okay? The checklist is filled with competent persons. When you are doing a checklist, you have to ensure that the people you are handing over the checklist to, they are competent. People who are going to be executing the job, they are competent. They have their third-party certificate, they have their training certificate, they have the necessary training to do such a job. And the crane has a valid inspection sticker. This inspection sticker means like a maintenance record. Okay, maintenance record in the sense that when your crane has been working for maybe 3 to 4 or 5 or 6 months, it has to be taken for maintenance. And some people, what they do is they just go to forge certificates, just in the sense because they want to make money from the site. And at the end of the day, because the machine is not very well maintained, it becomes a big problem and load starts falling down, links start breaking, chains start breaking, and so on and so forth. So insurance and third-party certificate. We all know what insurance is, but what is a third party certificate? Third party certificate means someone that is not even concerned with what you are doing. Let's assume where you are doing your lifting operation, there is a car park opposite the road. You can see the car park is not even near where you are working. But when there was high wind, the wind carried one very big stone or carry very big machine equipment, then woo, it crosses from your side, then pass on the person's car. You see, that is a third party because that person is not even concerned with what you are doing. That is an insurance you have to have. You need to have because, or maybe you are painting, then the drop of those paints was on the person's car and it's unable to remove except you have to do the full body work of the vehicle. Okay, those are third party certification. And load weight is confirmed within the safe working limits of the crane. You see, what this means is when the load weight is confirmed that okay, what we are lifting is about 2 tons, is it within the safe working limit of the crane? If this crane cannot lift up to 2 tons because of the way you are extending the outrigger or because of the soil type, or one more thing I need to add, or because of the center of gravity. You know, center of gravity of the load means when you are lifting that load, maybe the load is more heavier on the right side than the left. So you have to ensure that when you are lifting, you lift it in a way that it's balanced. Because if it's heavier on one side, immediately it gets up, that side will put a toll on the belt or the chain you are using to support that load to lift it up. Okay? I'm going to show you what the cranes look like, types of crane. I'm going to show you the problems, little problems we face. So it will be easier for you to know what to do during your interview. You understand what they're asking about. Safety devices are not bypassed. Like I told you in the safe load indicator, they just bypass the safety device. Okay. The swing arm radius is barricaded and unauthorized people are evacuated. Swing arm radius means after the boom has been extended, if it's going to swing to the right, within that radius, you know, that circle of where it's going to be going left and right, nobody is under that place, okay? So, an unauthorized personnel are not allowed because if somebody should go there and something fell down on their head, boom, you are in deep shit, big one, okay? The lifting tools are free from defects. Parts are used to protect the sling from load and vice versa. Lifting tools are free from defects in the sense that I will show you here. This is what we are talking about. You see, this is how, before you lift a load, you have to put the choker hitches like this. This process is called choker hitch, where you roll that belt, then hold it because of the kind of load you are taking. Then before you put it to the ankle. You see this place, you can see there's a little bit of somehow there's a line. That is like, you know, a small belt, a small patch that is put at the edge of that belt, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Why is because if the load gets pulled away from the ground, the belt becomes very tight, and when the load has sharp edges, then it becomes a problem. It starts to cut the belt slowly, 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 then boom, the loads fall down, and you have to explain to the government what's happened that makes those people die. Or the best option also to use is this. This way, the shackles is there. So all you just need to do is connect the belt, and none of the loads is going to have problem. This mostly happen in precast sites. When they are about to work at edges. So when they are bringing the precast panel, it might have the shape of a triangle. So there's no way you can put a belt around the edge, the small edge, because after inserting that load at the triangular shape, you would be unable to remove the belt because it's not something you can just pull up. One person will pull up, then they remove the belt. No. The only option is either you cut the belt. So to avoid that from happening, you have to put all these, shackles at the edges. It's already connected to it. So it will be dropped inside, then you just lose it and remove the belt. Okay? And this wrong way of doing should not be tried. It's better to put the belt this way, so the center of gravity would be here, the load can be divided accordingly, than put the belt here, then it starts swinging. Okay? These are the protector at the corner. As I told you before, this is a wrong way of doing it. Okay? And for this one is the shackle I told you about, where you can put the lugs and bolts. Now, you understand what I'm talking of when I talk of damage to the belt. Okay? You can see these ones are the kind of punctures and things. First, when you start lifting without putting safety pad, these are what happen. You find lines like this because of sharp edges. Then this start to happen, abrasions start to happen. Sometimes it gets to this point, but before it gets to this point, it will already pass through this point, and this point. Then it goes to cuts. You see, these are heat damage. Maybe where you put it, there was a silencer, the crane silencer, this was kept on it, and it was so hot that you forgot. Then you find things like this. These are acid damage. Maybe you put it where chemicals are, and these are punctures or snag because of maybe there are, steel popping out of that place that will be used to connect other layers. And this one is the worstest, tensile break. When you buy fake belts, things like this, you always find it happening. Okay? An illegible or missing tag. If a tag is missing, please, in the name of God, do not use the belt because you don't know how long they've been using this belt. Why? Which means it can damage at any time. Okay? Now, checking the wind speed. If it's less than 32 kilometers per hour. Okay? If the wind speed is too much, you tell them to stop the work. No matter who your project manager is or anybody, advise them, sir, if you don't want us to face problem, kindly tell everyone to stop the work for the meantime till the wind level is going to be okay. Okay? Then, approved lifting plan available for critical lifts. There are some lifts, like I told you before, those sharp edges and so on and so forth. You see, when you are trying to lift things that are bent, like they are in triangle shape, you see the other part of the shape, it's a little bit wider, right? That side has more weight, but this side has less weight. And if you set the belt or the chain according, immediately you start to pull up, first thing you notice is that the sharp edge, the smaller part, is going to come up first before the wider part. Then your load will start going like this. You see, it will be very tough. So the best advice of what you should do is you reduce that belt. You know, when you lift, the heavier one goes, and this one will be swinging like this because there's no weight here. But when you reduce the belt on this side, it goes up to this level. So it will be easier for you to take it to anywhere and drop it inside. Then permit for activities is obtained. Crane operator and rigger's vision is not obstructed. Maybe they are lifting something. Sometimes lifting requires two outriggers. Because if you try to manage one, only one person cannot be on ground floor and also be on the second or third floor. It's not possible. So when you have two outrigger, the one that will inform the crane operator, okay, hold on, steady, move it to the left, swing right, like swing right, swing left. All these kind of things would be shown to the crane operator and ensure the load is well balanced like I told you before. And tag lines are used to control the weight, etc. You see, now I'm going to be showing you dimensions of what a crane should look like. As you can see, this is a 100-ton crane, okay, used on a site. And I'm sharing this with you for you to understand what a crane look like. This is the aerial view, while this is the side view, like side elevation. For those of you that have been into architecture, you understand what I'm saying. We have all the measurements attached to it. You see, everything is attached. The size, the width, the length, the breadth, and so on and so forth. So, as you can see, the boom radius, the boom size, height, the G, and so on and so forth, they are here. And we will be leaving this for you. If you need something like this, you just have to pause. All you need to do is pause the video, then take picture of this, so it will be easier for you to, you can take the picture like this, then you take the picture of the dimensions, and very good. This one I want to explain to every one of us. You see, this is a crane here. The higher the length, the lower the load. As you can see here, if the crane is about 100 degrees, the more it goes up, if it's at 11.5 meter, it can pick up to 100 ton. It can pick up to 100. If it's at 15.2, it can pick up to 868. If it's at 19, it picks up to 65, 61, 15. You can see the more it goes up, the lesser the load it can carry. That is when it's straight at 82 degrees. Okay, but when it's going to be swinging forward a little bit more, you should know that it will be going from 78 to 53 to 39. That is the load capacity it can take. But when you're extending the boom to the highest, this is the maximum. If the boom is at 52 meters, or let's say 48 meters, you cannot use it at 52. If you can use it at 48.8 meters, maximum load capacity you can lift at this position of 82 degree is 11.4 ton. When it's coming down to 60 something degree or 45 degree, the lesser the load will become. When it comes down to this level, that means you are extending this boom. You are extending this boom to the front. And the longer it goes, the lesser it will be able to pick up. Because if you pick more than 2.5 tons, the crane is going to overturn. That means it has exceeded the safe working load capacity. And when you are using the additional extension to pick up, you see, even it has lesser amount of weight. Because when you stretch to this place, it will not be easy to pick up. Even yourself, you can try it. When you are standing straight, easier for you to pick a load. When you are stretching your hand, it's a little bit, tough to pick the load. But when you are lying flat, almost flat on the ground to pick something up, you know how difficult it is. Most especially those of us that go to the gym, that hit the gym, you understand what I'm talking about. The heavier the load, when you're standing straight, it's easier to pick. But when it becomes something you have to, pick in front of you and come up, then it becomes a very big problem. Now we are going to going to 12 common types of crane. So at least you would understand what a crane looks like. So when they keep asking you questions about a crane, you don't just stand there and look, because you don't even have any idea what they are talking about. As you can see, this is a floating crane. It's a ship with a crane specialized in lifting heavy load. Mostly this you find in dock area, like where shipments are at seaports. Okay? Then this one, Apple crane are normally used in harbor to carry container. You see, lifting container lifting operations of heavy, very, very heavy duties. They pick it from the ship, then bring it on the land. These are crawler cranes used to move on site and is stable on the track without outriggers. This one, you don't need an outrigger. It's just the ground, it crawls and it's balanced. These are rough terrain cranes. You can use this one off the road. You can use it on the rough road a little bit somewhere that's not very balanced. And this crane are less than 100 tons. Okay. This crane varies of different types. You find the ones that are 100 ton, 200 ton, 500 ton crane are this type of crane you find. And these are truck mounted crane. These are used by mostly generators companies that supply generators to site. So they bring the generator with this kind of car. Immediately they arrive, they just pick it up back and drop it on the ground. These are level luffing crane. For those of you that are seeking for safety job in seaports, these are the kind of cranes you find, where hook remain at the same level while luffing. You see, these are railroad crane. These ones they use for train. They can use to pick the train and drop it on the track. They use to check how straight the track is for accident recovery and so on and so forth. And this tower crane, I'm very sure you guys would have seen this very much. I'm sure you have seen this kind of crane very much because it's used on tall buildings. These are side boom crane. These are commonly used in or industrial pipeline, for oil and gas industry. These are the type of cranes you are going to find. So don't tell me you don't know what crane look like. These are aerial crane. These are helicopters. They use them for high mass when creating all these networks like 5G network, all these our intercom and so on and so forth. These are gantry crane. This crane is built on top of a gantry which is capable of moving load, from one place to another. So, like a stock area where they put pile, where they put stockpile of panels, like in the precast industry, like containers as well, where they store containers as well. If the gantry crane is tall enough, yeah, it can be used to arrange this thing. I hope that answers your question about what a cranes look like. And this is how to determine the crane index capacity.